Good morning, students. Now I will tell you about the story of Dr. Sadao, who was born in Japan, but he was just trying to bring something that is quite different from the ordinary person. He was a man who really achieved such futuristic dreams that his father had once thought of. He was able to bring that very person to his house who was quite an unknown person, who was his enemy. The badge, the cap, and the dress, the uniform that he had put on really showed him that he was something very serious, because he had already bled so much blood that could make him so weak and feeble that he could neither move nor walk nor have any sense. So now he was like no more than a dead, and so he was carried into his father's room, where it was already fitted with all kinds of comforts. His father had already died, and the room was empty. So they thought that it is better to harbor such a man in a secret room where no one goes. It was locked for a long time, and so he just brought it. Then what did happen? I will tell you just now. Here I would like to tell you something about the vocabulary that is quite essential to understand. What is that? You must know it. It is yonder, that is far away. The meaning of writhed, that is entwining. Wrapped means covered. Howdy, it is a kind of loose outer garment worn over the kimono. What is kimono? It is a long, loose Japanese robe having wide sleeves and tied with a sash. Literally, what is the meaning of literally? Exactly. Moreover, what is that? Voluble. It is a very good word that is included in this lesson. Talking much with enthusiasm. And here, one of the professors, whose wife was voluble, she was so talkative. She just treated all the foreign students to talk much, and really she cared much. He'd paying careful attention, esteem, 30 mark, and solemn and serious. So here I discussed some of the words that you may have some problem in understanding the lesson. That's why I told you. Sadao's father, who had never used any modern furniture, but he liked to live on the ground, and it was his room where he used to sleep. The quilts were kept in the cupboard, and the man was just laying on this very bed. What a wonderful room it was! It was having very good flowers and some other things that he needed. And now this man was unconscious. So Hana asked Yumi to bring a bucket of water so that he could be washed. Firstly, they decided to do so, but it was her Mistress order Yumi just refused. She did not like to do so. Why? Because he was a foreigner. He was an enemy. She was afraid. So Sadao wanted to do so. But finally she brought water and cleaned. He was so dirty. He had already bled so much that it was danger of losing life. Dr. Sadao felt his pulse. His pulse was still beating. He was alive, so he went to his room from where he brought his emergency bag in which he had a torch. He had some equipments. He had put on his emergency light that is worn on the head like a miner in the emergency. The doctors used to wear it when they had to operate, so he brought it. He wanted anesthesia. After being cleaned, he just made him lie on his stomach so that his bullet, where it had pierced into his back, could be discovered. He realized that there must have been internal bleeding which has made him very weak. He started probing with the equipment. Then he found it after some time, and really it was time for operation. How it could be made? It could not be done without giving anesthesia. Anna had never given anesthesia to someone else, and so she could not tolerate its essence. How? It was a very big problem. It was the enemy who had become so weak. Now it was the problem. Hannah, who wanted not to give anesthesia, she had no any emotion because she had come from America, and since she had come, she had accepted the nationality of Japanese. Both of them were married with the rituals of the Japan. They had already got children, but father accepted them. And Sadao was a single son of his father, so he could not disobey his father's orders, and he could not go against his will. And that's why he had fallen in love with Hannah only after she had accepted everything according to his conditions. Now it was the operation. Sadao told him. Sadao told Hannah she had to take some swabs, some cotton, make it wet, and then just put it near his mouth, near the nostrils, so that if he starts smelling very bad and feels the pulse very weaker, certainly she had to remove. But after giving some swabs near his nostrils, she herself started feeling vomiting, and she went out. He could hear. Dr. Sadao had a very good habit of talking with his patient while operation, and he used to tell this very enemy friend what a contradictory thing this happened. He continued operation, and after much probing he could just discover it and extracted it. Estis the skin and then feel the hypodermic injected. He was still in weak condition. This condition prolonged. After a few days, he was able to sit. Food was provided by Hana, and Yumi and Gardener both did not stay. Yumi expressed her inability. Gardener also told that they had worked. When they were parting, Hana paid them for their wages. They were emotional, but she remained unemotional. She knew, feeling emotional, something would happen to Sestress. She was in such a state of mind that if Yumi persuaded her that she would miss the children, she did not call them. Thank you, children. I will tell you something more in the next video.